This is Math 1000. We are solving equations with radicals, starting with problem number 9. Number 9 is saying the square root of x is equal to 4. Because it's square root, you are going to square both sides, and you get x is equal to 16. And you're supposed to check, especially the ones with an even index, you want to check those. If you took the square root of 16, you do get 4. Number 10, if you were to square both sides, x is equal to 4. And for this one, if you square both sides, you're going to get x is equal to 4, but that is extraneous because the square root of 4 is 2, not negative 2. So this one is no solution. So an indication would be if if this is an even index, and if this number is negative, that's going to give you a warning that it's going to probably be extraneous. Moving along, number 15, you would square both sides. So you get 2x plus 3 equals 25. Subtract 3. 2x equals 22, and divide by 2, x is 11. Number 16, this is cube root. We're going to cube both sides. 7x minus 6 equals 64. Add 6. Divide by 7. X is 10. For 17, you're going to want to get rid of this 4. So subtract 4. Now you're going to cube both sides. So you get 3x here is equal to 27. Divide by 3, x is 9. 21, we're going to raise both sides to the 4th power. And 3 to the 4th power is 81. Now, if this were a negative 3, it would be extraneous. And, the next one does say negative 3. So if you wanted to check this out, if you raise both sides to the 4th power, this is going to give you the 81. It's going to give you a positive 81. But when you put 81 in here, the 4th root of 81 is positive 3, not negative 3. So this one is extraneous. So it's no solution. If this index were a 3, it would not have been a problem. You could have a negative number there. Number 23, raise both sides to the 4th power. Subtract 10. X equals 71. This next one is very easy. Both of them are square root, both sides. So essentially what you're doing is squaring both sides. And you end up with x plus 8 equals x minus 8. Now for this one, these two x's are the same. When you subtract them, you're getting rid of them, and you're getting this 8 is equal to negative 8, which is not true. So this one is no solution. 28, we're going to subtract 7. Now we're going to square both sides. be careful right here, a lot of people will accidentally write 6. It's 3 squared, which is 9. And then subtract 5, and you get 4. And you can check this answer. If you plugged 4 in here, 4 plus 5 is 9, the square root of 9 is 3, and 3 plus 7 is 10. 29 is a little different. Because of this 2 outside, you are going to want to cube both sides. This one's a little tricky. When we cube this side, we end up with x squared plus 2x. That's not a problem. When we cube this side, you have 2 pieces here. You have this has to be cubed, and 2 cubed is 8. And then we're going to cube this, which is just x minus 1. So basically what we have to do is distribute. And what we're going to do is finish this off by getting a 0 on one side because it's quadratic. So if I subtract 8x and add 8, zeroing this side out, if I subtracted 8x here, I get negative 6x, and I'm adding that 8 here. Now I want to factor this. What 2 numbers multiply to give you 8, but add to be negative 6? So our possible solutions are 2, I should put it in the order that I found them, 4 and 2. Now what you're going to want to do is take a second and plug these numbers in one at a time to see if they both work. If you were to plug 4 in here, 4 minus 1 is 3. You have the cube root of 3, so you have 2 times the cube root of 3. Does that equal, and then you have 4 squared, which is 16, plus, and then you have 4 times 2, which is 8. So it looks like this one's not working. You don't get the same thing here. So that is extraneous. This one doesn't work. Now if we try 2, if you plug the number 2 in, 2 times the cube root of 2 minus 1, does that equal the cube root of 2 squared plus 2 times 2? This one might work. So 2 minus 1 is 1, and the cube root of 1 is 1. So this is 2 times 1, which is 2. And this is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. So this one works. That was extraneous. Number 30. Because these are both cube root, if you raised or cubed both sides, you simply get 6t. I was going to write 6x. 6t so basically you're removing this radical and this radical because you're cubing both sides. So subtract 2t, add 1, and t is equal to 1. And you're going to want to check your answers, it works. The same one here, you're going to raise both sides to the 4th power, which is x plus 8 equals 2x, subtract x is 8. I'm going to first get this 4 out of here. And I don't even have to do much work on this one. I already know when I swing 4 over, this is a negative number, and that's an even index. So when I raise both sides to the 4th power, this one's gonna end up being no solution. Because there's no way I'm gonna be able to take the 4th root of something and get a negative number. 33, I'm gonna swing 6 over. Square both sides. Subtract 1 gives us 35, divide by 5, and x is 7. 34, this one, you're going to square both sides. Negative x times negative x is positive x squared. These cancel. So you have 12x equals negative 3, and x is equal to negative 1/4. Now what you're going to want to do is plug that in and see if it works. So if we plugged in negative 1/4, is that going to give us the opposite of negative 1/4? Something tells me this might be extraneous. So 1/16 minus, this is going to give us 3. Oh, maybe not. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so that's going to be negative 3 plus 3. These are going to cancel. Those are going to cancel. So what's the square root of 1/16? Oh, it's 1/4. So believe it or not, that answer was good. This one, same thing, you're going to square both sides. These cancel. I'm going to bring 4 over. I'm trying to skip some steps. 4, 6 is equal to 2/3. And you're going to check to see if that works. So let's check 2/3. So if we're going to square 2/3, plus 6 times 2/3 minus 4, does this equal 2/3? Well, this is going to give you 4/9 plus 3 goes into 6 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 cancels. And the square root of 4/9 is 2/3. So that one worked as well, 2/3. Back side. $39. This one, we're getting a little bit more complicated. Square both sides. If you have to FOIL this. So you end up with z squared plus 1z. 1z is 2z. Those cancel. I'm going to leave 2z here. I'm going to subtract 1. And z is equal to 2. For number 40, you want to get this square root by itself, so subtract 6x. Now we're going to square this side, and we have to square this side. Now when you square this side, 1 minus 6x times 1 minus 6x. You have to FOIL. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 6x is minus 12x. And this is going to give you 36x squared. So this squared is 1 minus 12x plus 36x squared. Now I like to put my terms in order in standard form, so this is going to go first. This is in the middle, but I have to subtract another x here, so this is going to make this 13x, and then plus 1. And now you're going to want to factor and find the factors of this to see what cancels. So let's see, 6, you can try 6, 6, 6, and that's not going to work because 6 and 6 is 12. So we may have to try like 9 and 4. This is your guess and check. Why don't we try 9 and 4? And I think that might work. 9, yep. So 9x times 1. And then these are both going to be negative. So you have negative 9x minus 4x gives you your negative 13x. So your possible answers are 1/9, and 1/4. And what you're going to have to do at this point is plug each of these answers in to see if any of them are extraneous. So here we go. If you plug 1/9 in, oops, 6 times 1/9. Does this equal 1? Well, the square root of 1/9 is 1/3. And this 3 goes into both of these, so this is going to give you 2/3. And I believe 1/3 and 2/3 is 3/3, and 3/3 is 1. So this answer worked. This was good. And then let's try 1/4. 1/4. If we put 1/4 here, the square root of 1/4 plus 6 times 1/4, does this give us 1? Well, this is 1/2. Square root of 1, square root of 4. Reduce this. This is going to give you 3/2. And I believe this gives you 4/2, which is 2. 2 does not equal 1. So your second answer was extraneous. This 1/4 does not work. And 41, you're going to bring both of these to the other side. This y will become a positive, and this 5 will become a negative. So when you square both sides, you get 2y plus 5 equals, this side squared is y squared minus 10y plus 25. So now you're going to swing everything to one side, get a 0 on one side. It's going to be minus 12y, and this is going to be plus 20. So what two numbers multiply to give you 20? But add to be negative 12. And your two possible answers are 2 and 10. So let's take a second and see which ones, if both, maybe both work. 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 minus 2, we said it was 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. So that did not work. Let's do that again. Kind of did that fast. So if we put 2 in for y. If we put 2 in for y. 2 times 2 plus 5 plus 5 minus 2. Does that give us 0? So this is 9, so that's 3. 3 plus 5 is 8, so that does not work. Absolutely does not work. Now if I put a 10 here, 2 times 5 is 10. So 2 times, we said 10. Does that give us 0? That's 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 minus 10 is 0. So this one did work. Y is 10. $45. The only difference on this one is it's not written with, this could be written like this. This 1/2 power means 2a plus 9. So you do the same thing like you did the problem above. You're going to bring these two to the other side. The negative a will be a positive a. The 3 will become a negative 3. So now you're going to square both sides. When you square this side, you get 2a plus 9. When you square this side, you get a squared minus 6a plus 9. Subtract 2a. And subtract 9. These 9's cancel. So this one, you're going to factor an a out. And your two possible answers are 0 and 8. And check these ones. And see which ones work. If we put a 0 here, you get the square root of 9, which is 3. And 3 minus 0 plus 3. So this would give you 3. And 3 plus 3 is 6. So this one won't work. How about 8? If we try 8. We use an 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 and 9 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 minus 8 is negative 3, and negative 3 plus 3. So this one works. That one's good. That one's bad. 46. I'm going to add the x here. I'm going to square both sides now. When I square this side, I get x squared minus 4x plus 4. Subtract 3x and subtract these 4's cancel. I'm going to factor an x out. And your two possible answers are 0 and 7. 0 is extraneous, 7 works. 47. This one are both square root. This is the same as if both were underneath the square root. So all this is 2x squared plus 4x plus 9 equals 2x squared plus 9. These cancel. These cancel. So you have 4x equals 0 and x is equal to 0. 51. Both of these are the fourth root. So if you raise both of them to the fourth power, subtract 5x, subtract 1, and x is equal to 6/4 or 3/2. 52, raise both sides to the fourth power, subtract 2b, subtract 3, and these ones you're going to check for extraneous solutions. In 53, you're going to raise both sides to the fourth power, but I already know this is not going to work because you can't take, if you raise both sides to the fourth power, you're not going to be able to do this problem. In the end, it's going to be no solution. These last three problems are going to involve squaring both sides twice. So the reason why is because you're not going to be able to get rid of the radical by squaring it just once. So looking at this problem, if you square both sides here, the left side, the right side is not a problem. You get x plus 1. It's just x plus 1. But this side, you're going to have the square root of x plus 1 times the square root of x plus 1. So you have to FOIL this side. So the square root of x times square root of x is just x. And then you have 1 root x times 1 root x is 2 root x. And then 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, now looking at this, these two are the same, they are gone. These two are the same, they are gone. So you have 2 root x equals 0. Now you're going to divide both sides by 2. And then if you square both sides, this is where you have to square both sides again. And it does work. If you put 0 here, square root of 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And 0 plus 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So 1 equals 1. This is a good answer. For 56, same thing. You're going to square both sides. It looks like the same problem, but it's not. So, when you square this side, I'm going to write it out. You have 2 of these. This is just going to be x minus 1. So root x times root x is x, and then you have 2 of these. And negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Now for this, these 2 cancel out. These are the same. I'm going to subtract this one here. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And then square both sides again. And if you put 1 here, square root of 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, and 1 minus 1 is 0, square root of 0 is 0, so that works. Last one. And when we square both sides here, this is going to be 3a plus 1. When we square this side, you have 2 of these. So the shortcut way is you're going to square this one, which is just a minus 4. You're going to multiply these 2 together times 2. Because I'm going to write it out here. You have root a minus 4 plus 3 times root a minus 4 plus 3. So this times this is that. This times this is 3 root a minus 4. And then you have another one of these, another 3. So this is going to be really 6 root a minus 4. And then this times this is 9. So what we want to do is get this by itself so we can square both sides again. So I'm going to add these two together. So you get a plus 5 I am going to subtract a here, subtract 5, subtract 5. Now you're going to square both sides again. This is the most difficult problem. When you square this side, you're going to get 4a squared minus, this is minus 8, and 8 is going to be 16a plus 16. And this one, you're going to square this side, square this, so you get 36, and then a minus 4, which is 36a oh. 144. So we're going to subtract 36a. We're going to add 144. 144 would be 160. Okay, then I think all these are divisible by 4, so you can pull a 4 out. 12a plus 40. And you should be able to factor that. What times what is 40 but adds to be negative 12? It would be 8 and 4. And this is nothing, but your two answers are, possible answers are A is 8 and A is 4. And what you're going to want to do is plug these two answers in one at a time to see if any or both work. So taking a second, if you plugged an 8 in here, if you plug the 8 in, 3 times 8 is 24, 24 plus 1, so we're testing 8 first. So that's 25, root 25 is 5. Does that equal 8 minus 4, which is 4? Root 4 is 2, 2 plus 3, that works, so this one worked. And then 4, does 4 work? So 3 times 4 plus 1, does that equal 4 minus 4, square root of that, and then plus 3. So this is 12. 12 and 1 is 13. The square root of 13 does not equal, this is going to give you 0. So it's going to give you 3. So this one's extraneous. Whoops, I did this factoring wrong. 8, this should be a 5. 8 times, nope, it does not factor correctly. My error. 4 and 10. 8 and 4 is 32. think of what two numbers, 4 times 10. 6 times 4, no. 6. So let's do the long way. Let's do what numbers multiply to give you 40. We have 1 and 40, because I'm 2 and 20. That's not going to be it. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 and 10. Is that supposed to be a 14? 4 goes into 50, 2, 1. That's why this should be a 13, right? Yep, there's my error, right there. That should be a 13. So I'm looking for what two numbers multiply to give you 40, but add to be negative 13. 2 and 20 are not. 4 and 10. 5 and 8. 5 and 8 are the numbers. So this should be a 5. That's my mistake. This should be a 5. Let's see if 5 worked. So if 5 works, both answers work. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. And I'm going to put 5 back here. 5 minus 4 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. They both work. Both answers work. So I take that back. I made a math error here. When I pulled my 4 out, that should have been a 13. 8 times 5 is 40, adds to be negative 13. The two possible answers are 8 and 5, and they both work. So there should be no X on this one. And that concludes the homework.